Hello, super kids. Welcome to another interesting lesson with Mr. Olia. I hope last lesson was interesting, and today we will be looking at the topic weather station. Weather station. First, we're going to be looking at what is weather station. Weather station is a facility with instruments or equipment for measuring atmospheric condition to provide information for weather forecasts and to study weather. This simply means studying of weather with various instruments to know the exact amount of rainfall, to know the period when rain is going to fall, or the amount of sunshine in that environment. So this weather station is a place where these various equipment are stationed or put in place to measure weather. Next, we'll be looking at a typical weather station as the following instruments and equipment. They have the various instruments and equipment, which are: 1. We have the thermometer. I say what? Thermometer. Thermometer is used for measuring air and sea surface temperature. Next instrument, which is known as the barometer. Barometer is used for measuring atmospheric pressure. It is used for measuring atmospheric pressure. Next instrument we'll be looking at, which is known as hygrometer. This hygrometer is used for measuring humidity. It's used for measuring what? Humidity. The next instrument we'll be looking at is known as rain gauge. Rain gauge. This is used to measure the amount of rainfall over a set period of time. The amount of rainfall over a set period of time. Next, we have what is called barometer. Barometer. This is an instrument for measuring solar radiation. Barometer is used for measuring solar radiation. Next instrument we'll be looking at is known as anemometer. Anemometer. Anemometer, this instrument is used for measuring wind speed. Is used for measuring wind speed. Next, we have what's called the wind vane. The wind vane. It is also known as weathercock. It is also called weathercock. And this is used for knowing the direction. This instrument is used for knowing the direction of wind. Is the wind blowing to the south, to the north, to the west, or to the east? So it's used to detect the direction of wind. Now, the next instrument is called transmissometer. This is used for measuring visibility. It is used for measuring visibility. So kids, you're going to see a short video clip which give more light on weather instruments.
Weather instruments. Today we're going to take a look at 6 common weather instruments that are used to record meteorological data. Let's get started. Our first instrument is the thermometer. Now, of course, the thermometer measures the air temperature, and it uses units such as degrees Celsius, degrees Fahrenheit, or Kelvin. Thermometers work on a very basic principle that liquids expand in higher temperatures. So it's made of a glass tube that contains some sort of liquid. It used to be mercury and is more commonly alcohol. You can see the liquid shown in red on this thermometer. As the temperature rises, the liquid expands, filling more of the tube, rising up towards the top. Our next instrument also takes use of thermometers. It's known as a sling psychrometer, and it's used to measure the amount of moisture in the air. Specifically, it measures the relative humidity as a percentage, or it measures the dew point in degrees Celsius or degrees Fahrenheit. It simply is composed of two thermometers attached to a handle. One of the thermometers has a wet piece of cloth on it, and when you swing this around, the water in that wet piece of cloth will evaporate, cooling that temperature down. And by comparing the regular air temperature to the temperature of this wet bulb thermometer, you can gauge the amount of moisture in the air. Our next instrument will be a barometer. Now, a barometer is going to measure our air pressure, and its units include millibars or inches. Essentially, the barometer measures how much the air is pushing down on the surface of the Earth. This is important because the air pressure has a big impact on whether the conditions will be wet or dry. Our next instrument is a rain gauge. This is simply a cup that measures the amount of precipitation that falls, and our units will be either inches or centimeters of precipitation. The last two instruments involve wind, starting with a wind vane, sometimes known as a weather vane. This measures the wind direction, and it's going to be recorded in a compass direction such as north, south, west, or east. The final instrument also pertains to the wind, and it's called an anemometer. It's going to record the wind speed as either miles per hour or knots. And so there you have it, our 6 common weather instruments.
Welcome back, kids. That was an interesting video clip sharing more knowledge or more understanding on some weather instruments. I hope you've learned a lot and you've known the different types of instruments used for measuring weather. So, super kids, see you next lesson. Bye bye.